All right, so we are starting with lesson 37. Let's stay focused and make any changes we need to. So I have 5/8 plus 4/8, and I know that equals 9/8. And I'm going to take my 9/8 because I notice that um, my numerator is greater than my denominator. And I want to see if I can change this to a whole number and a fraction, which we call that a mixed number. And I can do that by taking away one whole, which is 8/8, and that leaves me 1/8, and then my one whole equals 1. So it would look like that, 1 and 1/8. I'm going to change 10 to the 6th power into 10, a repeated factor, 10 times 10 times 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can get one more here, 6. And then what does that look like? Well, it has 6 zeros. Excellent. All right. They're asking you to solve this um, using the place value model. And you could find it in the back of your book. I'm going to turn back there in the help pages. So I'm on the help pages right now. And here it is right here. Place value model. And where did I find it? On page 291. All right. If you just used regular long division, I'm okay with that, but let's look at this and see if this can help you. So we took our number, which was 696, and we put it in expanded form. 600 plus 90 plus 6. And now we're going to divide. How many times does 3 go into 600? Well, it goes in 200 times, because 3 times 2 is 6, and then add my 2 zeros. How many times does 3 go into 90? Well, it goes in 30 times, because 3 times 3 is 9, and then add my 1 0. And how many times does 3 go into 6? And it goes in 2 times. So my answer is 232. All right. They want you to know, what is it most likely, 95 degrees, 120 degrees, or 160 degrees? This is what I have to do. When they're asking you would it be most likely, that means do not get out your protractor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the information that I know right off the bat. I know that if there was a line here, this would be a 90-degree angle. And I know that if there was a line here, this whole thing would be a 180-degree angle. So I know that it is greater than 90 and less than 180. My choices are 95. Well, if it were 95, it would just be barely over. It can't be 95. And then the next choice is 160. And if it were 160, it would be closer to here, where it would be closer to 180. So my best guess would be 120 degrees. Number 5, I am going to use order of operations, which is parentheses first. 13 minus 3 is 10. And 7 times 4 is 28. And then we add those together. 38. Number 6, it's asking us to choose the numerical expression that represents subtracting 89 from